on foot costumes. The women had to wear, well, but they didn't have a lot of. Yes, sir.
What did your mother and father do in the circus?
What?
What did your mother and father do in the circus?
Oh my, you'll see a little bit.
Oh,
of
okay.
it.
Sorry, didn't want to jump in.
That's a long story. God, I got full like that was too long. But the point of, all right, okay. And then we would get to the lot, and naturally, we would go in. The first thing you do is open your trunk and set it up and wash it. It was always a funny thing because Paul Jerome would come in. He always wore a toupee, and Paul just kind of had a little bit of a complex, you know. My father was says the story of going to the restaurant with Paul Jerome, and he couldn't get you want another cup of coffee, he couldn't get the waitress to come over. He'd knock the cup on the floor, and when she'd come over, oh, I'm so sorry, by the way, could you bring me another cup of coffee? That's a nice guy. But the one time I happened to be there, and that was absolutely beautiful, with Otto Gribbling. Everybody came in, and they opened their trunk and got everything ready for and then Otto would go, I'd go have a coffee, coffee. Anyone know Otto? Oh God, it's a shame. He's such a, the funniest, I think he's basically overall the most entertaining, funny clown the circus ever had. I don't think anybody can touch him. I don't care what the hell they say. But not for his character. He was absolutely magnificent. He always had a sense of humor. You see, Chucky, I was in the clown band on Interdate, and I said, what the hell am I going to play? I bought a glockenspiel. And Otto would always say, in the dressing room, he'd say, you know, when Chucky's home, he's upstairs playing his glockenspiel, and then his mother calls him, Mama, Jackie, you better come down, wash your hands, and come down to quit playing with your glockenspiel, all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, so when he went out of the dressing room, we opened up, if you remember, the putty was kept in a little container. We didn't have latex. We didn't have anything like that. If you had a nose, you'd have to take a ball, like Blue did with a regular rubber ball, or make it out of putty. That nose had to be put on every performance with putty. And it's not easy with putty because you have to have a dry nose and you have to take the putty and work it into your skin first before you stick the other putty on. So we went in there, I wouldn't have done anything like that. And they took out the can of putty when he was over there, and they mixed in Limburger cheese. Oh! So, of course, Otto comes in, you know, hello. He comes to one day, and he gets down there, he sits down, and he starts to make up, you know, and what the hell's that? Smells like shit. Well, he finally got wise to it. And he was real nice about it. I think he put a couple of steaks in a couple of clown shoes. But listen, I've heard the stories from Chuck Sidlow about how you guys carried on in the dressing room.
Those are lies, all lies.
Nothing.
Those are all things Chuck did.
Of course, as you know, with the circus, you don't need a watch. Once the show starts, you take the wristwatch and throw it away. And it's amazing. Within 2 or 3 days, you know, the whole program musically, you know, right away something happened, something went wrong, you're right there. Now, there's been a lot of debate about this, playing Stars and Stripes forever in an emergency. I personally, with my era of Ringling and everybody that I've talked to with Ringling from I never even heard of that. So that must have been kind of more of a legend than a thing. And I remember Kenny Dodd asking Merle Evans, he said, did you play Stars and Stripes forever when they had the Circus Fire? I was there with the Circus Fire, that was my first year. And Merle said, are you kidding? I said, boop, let's get the hell out of here. Because it was coming down to that thing. So we would, as you know, the clowns did mostly walk-arounds and stop numbers. Now we didn't have the luxury, because I noticed later when the clowns were with Felton and that, they'd put a spotlight on different ones. You do a little stop number, they would go there. We didn't have that. You had to really get 35, maybe 40 clowns on the damn track. And the only way you were ever going to get a laugh at all, you had to have a look at you. So the first evening, my father always had that, hello, Mary! And then they'd look, and then when you got it, as soon as you get their attention, do the damn gag, because otherwise nobody sees it. And then a lot of times, the arena was so big that you could do it 2 or 3 times, because you do it here and then go out and come back and finish up the whole thing. And of course, the walk-arounds were pretty visual, but nothing off color or anything like that. My father became kind of famous because during the Prohibition, he did a character because of men drinking water instead of liquor, turning into a camel, the camel man, and that kind of made it was very good propaganda. So you make up and you have no privacy. No, I'm trying to get through all this with clown numbers. We do your clown numbers, and in those days, none of the clowns worked the coming. Only maybe in New York, Shorty Flynn or Otto Gribbling. That was the only one. So you could really, technically, unless somebody brought a child back that was a friend of the circus or something, you could work for 3 or 4 years and never even touch a kid or shake hands or anything because you were protected from that. See how the world has changed? It's a damn good thing it got like it was. But you didn't, you were always between the audience and you. It was very, except for Otto going and doing the wiping the women's back of the skirts, I mean the chairs. You didn't have that person, you might have wiped their skirts too, I don't know. Any personal thing with people at all. You really didn't. But one thing with the clown, I think that's what clown makes the clown so lovable, is he at least does, when he's working, has a rapport between the audience and the clown. Much more than anyone else in the show. I don't give a hell if you're a big famous aerialist, or flyer, what the hell you do. When you take your bow and you walk the hell out. But the clown has that, and that's what's beautiful about the clown. Always remember, you have that person. They'll always remember you better than the person who did it. Hail for the clown!
Absolutely. Amen.
Okay.